Hello students, my name is Purnima Gupta and I am working as an assistant professor in IMS Ghaziabad University Courses campus. So here topic is this about a two-dimension array in C language. So let's start. You all aware with the concept of array. As we know, array is a collection of similar data type. And here we study different type of arrays, just like a one-dimension array, two-dimension array, three-dimension array, and here is a n-dimension array we can use. But in today's topic, we will going to discuss about a two-dimension array. The two-dimension array can be defined as an array of arrays. The 2D array is organized as a matrices, which can be represented as a collection of rows and columns. So we can also say that it is a database that look like a data structure. It provides ease of holding the bulk of data at once, which can be passed to any number of functions whenever required. So we implement array to ease our work because it provides a bulk of data. You can store. It provided a bulk of memory to store a bulk of data. Declaration of two-dimensional array in C. So here we discuss how can we declare a two-dimensional array in C. The syntax to declare a two-dimensional array is data type, and then you have to write an array name. Then in subscript, in first subscript, number of rows, and in second subscript, number of columns. Because we declare here a two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array means it will have a rows and column. It is combination of rows and column. And first subscript represents rows and second subscript represents columns. And here you can see example of matrix. The size is 3, 4. 3 represents rows and 4 represents column. That means, in other words, we can say that it can store 12 elements in this array. And the memory representation of two-dimensional array is like this. As you can see here, here is row 1, row 2 and row 3. And as I given here, number of column 4, that means column 1, column 2, column 3 and column 4. We all know that always array start with 0. In any language, if we talk about C language, C++ or Java, Python, it always starts with 0. So here, first row will represented with 0 and first column will also represent with 0. That means first rows and column will represented by 0 and 0. And then if we talk about the second row and first column, that it will 1, 0 and row 3 and first column 2, 0. Okay, so it's clear that how can we represent in memory an array. Here the next topic is how to initialize a 2D array in C. How to initialize. Actually, we have already declared. For declaration, we use subscript, and whatever you have decided, the number of rows in column, you entered in subscript. In first subscript, number of rows, and second subscript, number of columns. In 1D array, we don't need to specify the size of the array if the declaration and initialization are being done simultaneously. However, this will not work with 2D array. We will have to define at least the second dimension of the array. The two-dimensional array can be declared and defined in the following way. So let's see the example. 1D array means a single dimension. It will have only number of elements, just like you see here. And next line you can see 2D array declaration, that is number of rows and number of column. Combination of number of rows and column, that is matrix. So here we can see the example, declaration with initialization. There are different types to initialize an array. In simple way, you can also enter the element at that position, at what position you want to enter the element. Suppose you have declared an array with size 10. That means its address will be start with 0 to 9. So if you want to store the elements at position 0, then you can write array of 0 is equal to 2. That means 2 will be stored at position array of 0. And if we write array of 1 is equal to 9, that means 9 will be stored at position array of 1. So in that way you can also initialize the value of that array. And another way is also that using a scanf you can enter the value of an array. But here I am going to discuss about how to declare the third way, how to declaration with initialization. Means I am declaring here an array and also initialize the value. As you can see here in 1D array, we simply use a curly braces. For declaration with initialization, I have written here int add 4. That means it will declare a size of 4 for an array, and I have entered the elements within a curly braces 1, 2, 3 and 7. In the same way, for two-dimensional array, we use int add 4 and 3 in subscript, 4 for rows and 3 for column. And for representing, or we can say for initialize the value of two-dimensional array, we have to use a curly braces within curly braces. Okay, as you can see here I have a set of 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 and 4, 5, 6. This is representing number of rows. In first row, I have to enter 3 values, 1, 2 and 3 for first column, and for second row we have to enter columns value 2, 3, 4 and so on. So for declaration initialization, we have to use curly braces within a curly braces to initialize a 2D array. Let's understand with example how to declare with initialization. So I have used here 2 header files. First is studio.h and second is conio.h. And after that I have used main function. In main function I have write here 2 variables I and j for looping. As I have told earlier that here we have to declare number of rows and number of columns. That means 2 variables are needed to make a loop. So here I have used I for row and j for columns. And in the 6th line you can see int add 4, 3. Means I have used 2 subscript, 4 representing number of rows and 3 representing number of columns. And here I have entered all elements as we have discussed earlier. After that I have to print these all elements using this address. Means I want to show that at the address of array 0, 1 what value have been stored, and therefore I have used here I for rows. As you can see, for I is equal to 0, I is less than 4 and I plus plus. That means this loop will be continue from 0 to 3 because I have written here less than 4. And as we know, I have 4 rows, means 0, 1, 2 and 3. This for rows, and for columns we have 3 rows. Therefore we have loop for 0 to 2, means 0, 1 and 2. For columns I have written here 0 and j is less than 3 and j plus plus. And for printing purpose I have written here array within a subscript. As you can see here, within a subscript I have written %t and %t. Actually I want to display the address of an array and elements as well as. So I have written here %t is equal to %t within a subscript, that is representing rows, first subscript, and second subscript is representing columns. So I have written here %t I that is denoting here %d for I and second %d for j, means first representing for row and second representing for column, and is equal to %d, and for that I have reference here array ij. That means the element I have stored and that place. Okay, after that I have closed all curly braces, and as you know, get set is used only for hold the string. So let's, after running this program, what you will get? You will get the output array 0 0. In array 0 0 means first row and first column, that is representing with 0 0. Two subscript is there, one for rows and one for column. And I have already stored, you can see first row and first column have 1. Okay, here you can see first row and first column have 1 value, and means 1 number, and for 0 and 1 address 2, and 0 for 2 3. In the same way, all arrays element with this address has been printed. So thank you so much.